everybody.
Lauren here.
And Ben.
And we have another wrap-up.
Wrap up time.
Wrap-up.
Yes.
I've had a decent week. It wasn't the best.
I got a lot more reading in this week than last week. So.
Good. Whoa, yeah, you got a chunker.
Mm-hmm. Well, I started last week, so.
Yeah.
Halfway through it.
But yeah, pretty mid. First up, let's get into it. Fiona Davis, The Spectacular.
You did a buddy read of that.
I did a buddy read with my friend Amanda, who has a channel on the Middle Shelf. I don't think she's doing anything currently new videos, but she's got quite the backlog of videos.
Mm-hmm.
But I had been hearing about Fiona Davis as a historical fiction author and how amazing she is. So I really wanted to get to this one at this time because this is about a Rockette. And I mean, how Thanksgiving.
Somebody auditioning for the Rockette?
Yeah, she auditioned in the book.
She was.
And
okay.
Spoiler alert, she made it, but I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm such a mood reader. How Thanksgiving is that? Mm-hmm. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, right?
Mm-hmm. Very much.
And so this was okay. Both Amanda and I, we read this, and we felt kind of the same. Up until through 70% of the book, we were all in. 5 stars. Loved it. All the New York vibes, which that's Fiona Davis's thing. She has one about the public library there, and this was about Radio City. But
I love New York.
True story, there apparently was someone going around bombing places back in the day in New York City. Mm-hmm. And so that's what this is about. And through 70% of the book, we loved it. Something happened that literally made my jaw drop. I did not think it was going to go this way. Mm-hmm. But then...
That sounds good.
Yes. Then you hit the 70% mark. And both Amanda and I, we were like, okay, this went a little off the rails. I kind of don't think some of the things the characters are doing make sense. You kind of have to suspend your disbelief there.
Yeah, that would bother me.
Yeah. Now, again, 70% of this book is 5 stars. So, and read it for the New York vibes alone. I really did enjoy this. I really would recommend this. It could be just Amanda and I are crazy. I don't know. But, and I would
You just didn't like the turn it took toward the end.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Then I went out of my comfort zone again. Look at me going out of my comfort zone. I read Wayward, which by Amelia Hart.
This was one of your 10 before the end or 5 before the end.
Okay. My Libby.
You already talked about this book, but that's why.
Yeah, my Libby audio hold came up on it, and I had heard nothing but good things. I think the marketing team on this, and maybe again it's a me thing, but I feel like when this first came out, it was marketed as fantasy, which is why I was out. But the FOMO I get is real. And it's amazing. So I had to read it. And I believe it was a YouTuber, Rhonda Holden, that I watched. And she said that it's much more historical fiction than fantasy. It's really only kind of fantastical with that it's about witches. It's about 3 generations of witches. And I would definitely agree with her on that. And I really enjoyed this book.
Okay.
It was 3 separate timelines, multi-generational book, 3 separate timelines with witches.
Would you say there's comparisons to be made between that and Grady's new book? The whole Wayward thing? It's not Wayward Girls, it's just the title.
I don't know about that. I mean, there's witches in
There's
both,
witches.
But
maybe it's just the title Wayward that's making me think, like, it's not Wayward Girls.
I wouldn't put the 2 together personally, but I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Sounds good, though.
It was really good. And I will definitely check out her other book, The Sirens, which honestly, I've showed you the Sirens at Barnes & Noble. It has gorgeous sprayed edges. Okay. I want it just for the looks of it. So I'm glad I liked this. Okay. Because
it didn't stop you with that pumpkin spice thing. So
yes. Which I have heard
liking the book is not a requirement for you to buy a pretty copy.
Yeah, I have heard The Sirens is not quite as good as this one though.
Okay.
But trigger warnings for this though. There's a lot of abuse in this book. There's a lot of abuse.
Okay.
So again, if Then I went back. It's Nonfiction November. This is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. this is a modern day true crime classic. Like if you read true crime, I feel like you've read this one. So I felt left out. I had to check this out. I was disappointed in this book.
Mm-hmm. You told me that.
This was heavily skimmed by me because I was getting very, very bored.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the Golden State Killer, and this Michelle McNamara. She was just a layperson basically, but she was doing the undercover detective work. She
Internet sleuthing.
Yes, she became obsessed with this Golden State Killer.
Mm-hmm.
And she's married to she passed away, but she was her and afterward by her husband Patton Oswalt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we? I know
he's
that.
a comedian. I know that. Yeah. I know of some of his work.
Well, he has an afterword in here.
I didn't realize his wife wrote a book.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I was bored. And it could be a case of she died in the writing of this book, so it had to be finished by maybe the writers didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
But
I feel like the title of this book is used a lot. Like I've heard about it many times. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she gets credited for catching this guy. And I from going through reviews on Goodreads, I don't even think she didn't have because he's since been caught since her passing. Mm-hmm. And she didn't even have the real one's name in her notes. So I don't really know why she's credited. She named him the Golden State Killer. She named him that.
Is it maybe just more that she brought awareness and that awareness led to him being caught?
Yes, that is true. This book.
Not her research necessarily, but her making people aware that it needed to be.
You're probably right there. I would agree with that. I was blown away by this one. Mm-hmm. Wow. This is one of those ones that I want you to read, even though I don't think you're going to like the subject matter. I want you to read for the writing.
Which is interesting because she's an actress,
yes,
you said,
she's
right?
Amber Tamblyn. This is Any Man by Amber Tamblyn. And
she's a poet.
She's a poet, and it shows. Her only other books, I believe, are poetry. And I'm not a big poetry reader, but the prose was very poetic and just beautiful. Mm-hmm.
And it sounds, from reading her bio, I mean, they sure make it sound like she's every bit as much a writer as she is an actor. It's not like this is...
I don't know what she's
not like
an
actor who decides to write their memoirs of being an actor kind of writer. She's a writer and an actor.
Some of the pages have nothing on. It's so fast to get through. Mm-hmm. It's a big social commentary, and some of the critiques of this book were were shoving social commentary down my. So
that gets my attention in the right way.
But I loved it, mm-hmm. and it's about a serial. How do I say this?
Essayer.
Yes, essayer, but it's a woman doing
a female
it.
That's doing, yeah.
And so it's like a whole social commentary on how we treat victims in society, mm-hmm. and it was.
How victims get treated when they're men versus...
Yes, I loved it. Oh, and then that's it.
I think if her writing that is offending people, I would assume that they're probably people who need to be offended.
No, I understand.
I don't know.
If it's escapism, and this is not a
well, sure,
yeah, I get that.
The whole pushing back on a book of that content because it's social commentary, I just feel like that gets my attention in the right way. Okay. I had what I would call an atypical week. I read some stuff that is outside of my normal wheelhouse, mm-hmm. and it's shaped up because Nonfiction November. I've got two nonfiction mm-hmm. books here.
Good for you.
I started the last week the audiobook for The Grapes of Wrath by John mm-hmm. Steinbeck, which mm-hmm. is it's the great American novel, one of, if not the great American novel. I never read it. It was like a 21-hour audiobook. So, mm-hmm. and I wanted to take my time with it. Normally I'll go a little faster on the timing than I did. Mm-hmm. I'd read John Steinbeck, of course, but I'd never read The Grapes of Wrath. Mm-hmm. And I get on these kicks every now and then where I want to read more classics. So I picked mm-hmm. this up a while back. It had sat on my shelf for months, and I had the audiobook on hold. And while I'm plotting or beginning to plot a book myself that will be partially set during the Great Depression era, mm-hmm. It's sort of like, I guess, fateful that this came up, and I read it now because mm-hmm. I think this is, having read this and having marked some stuff is going to help me capture the right vibes from a time period that I don't really know that much about. So mm-hmm. It was a fantastic read. Obviously, he's one of the greatest writers of any generation. Mm-hmm. And I love this, and I made a bunch of notes to go back and revisit some of this stuff.
Awesome.
So I can try to infuse some of that spirit. Mm-hmm. So when I was finished with that, I did the audiobook for Widow's Point by Richard Chismar and W.H. Chismar, who's his son Billy.
That's a re-release, right?
So it's got kind of a storied past. This was originally a short story that they wrote together, and then it became a novella that he published through Cemetery Dance, his own company, and then just kind of kept growing and growing. So this was now been re-released to be like a more complete story, and so it's like a full 300-page novel now.
I'm curious about this one. This one's on my radar.
I don't want to sway you, so take all of this with a grain of salt. The story was really good. The format bothered me. It's epistolary.
Oh, well, see, now I'm like, ooh, I like that.
Epistolary is great.
Yeah.
What I had trouble with, and maybe it's just because I did the audio, what I had trouble with is because it's in this epistolary format. I'm trying to find a good example page. All the excerpts come from different inputs. So there's like camera footage that gets described, and there's people's journal entries, and there's like online stuff. So it's coming from all these different places. If you can see on this page, between these two pages, this is a good example, there's 5 different entries. So when you're listening to this as an audiobook, you get to hear the narrator say, voice recorder entry number 25B, 5:54 p.m., Saturday, 4 or 5 times within 2 pages. That gets old really quick.
Yeah, if you were physically
If I was physically reading this, I might have skimmed.
Yeah,
so the fact that all these little entries are so short, I would not recommend the audiobook.
Okay.
That said, the story was great, really creepy. The way it all comes together at the end, it goes a little bit farther out there toward the end than you might appreciate.
Oh, okay.
It's not simply ghosts.
Okay.
But great read. Don't recommend the audiobook.
Okay.
I also read this week, I started last week and finished this week, Tuesdays with Maury.
That's really different for you.
Really outside of my norm. Not a book that I would have ever predicted myself picking up. You can see, though, I did some thorough note-taking on this because I loved it. Loved this book. And I think when I finally get down to pen to paper, hands on keyboard, starting to write this book that is brewing in my head, there is going to be a character that is largely based on Maury, the professor.
I don't want to read this because I know it's going to kill me. I know it's going to...
There are so many great messages in this book, though, about life and about love and about what's important and just life lessons on every single page. It's not a long read either.
No, it's not. Is it even 200?
I think it's just shy of 200 pages, and there's a lot of not a lot of words on each page. So a couple hours and you could knock this out.
Sounds like it's one that probably everyone should read.
I think everybody should read Tuesdays with Maury.
Yeah. I just don't want to cry.
Okay. As I am deep in the throes of working on lathering myself up to be ready to write another book, which is such a huge undertaking, I've been working my way through Save the Cat Writes a Novel, and I finished that this week also. Prioritized it for...
That's a writing help book?
This is about novel structure and plotting. And so it's again, look at all the Post-it notes that I left for myself. So helpful because it goes through the 15 essential story beats that can be found in almost every great novel. It gives 10 different genres that you could potentially write your book in. It gives clear instructions on how to use this stuff, where to start, how to start so that it's not overwhelming.
The title is odd.
And it gives actual beat sheets for a bunch of different books where it describes and analyzes how those books fit this structure that's pretty much universal if you can figure it out. So as a plotter, I just soaked up every word in here.
To the point where you said you went out and bought a board.
I bought myself a bulletin board and some index cards because what I've done in the past when I do my plotting and I'm like writing the descriptions of the scenes and moving them around, I've done it in like mind mapping software. I'm going to physically do it on a bulletin board this time with index cards where I'm going to write the scenes.
Day and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's not going to be too different from that, unfortunately. And the title, so you comment that Save the Cat, the idea there is behind when you make characters that are unlikable. If they're too unlikable, people aren't going to stick around. So make them save a cat from a tree so that so people start thinking like, oh, is this person, is there something, they're not all bad, I want to stick around. So I love that book.
Awesome. All right, and then our Goosebumps, guys. I read Be Careful What You Wish For, number 12, and it was okay, but man, the ending was dumb.
I didn't really care for that one.
I did not like the end of this. It was So yeah, it was mediocre. It was not a new fave. It's basically the be careful what you wish for. She meets somebody, she gets wishes granted, and they backfire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tale as old as time. I feel
I didn't care for that one too much either. I read number 27, A Night in Terror Tower. This one was great. I remembered the episode of the TV show more than the book. I didn't really remember the book.
Yeah.
But it skews a little bit more toward dark fantasy, but it was really good. I would hard pressed to describe this one as horror. Okay. Obviously, there's like scary, tense scenes, but I don't think you'll like it as much. But it was really good. Look at how cool that cover is.
Yeah.
With the executioner coming down the steps at you.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I enjoyed it. It all worked. It was a good one. Up next is The Cuckoo Clock of Doom, and I do not know what to expect there.
Oh, I'm kind of interested. Piano Lessons Can Be Murder is next for me.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Good. I need a win after
this. It was
a
good. Yeah, that might be one of the lesser ones of the whole series to me.
I didn't like that one. All right.
That's just me.
That was our reading week.
Yeah.
What should we ask them?
What should we ask them?
Give us some out of your comfort zone wins.
There we go.
Yeah.
Books you've read that you didn't
think you'd like
and loved.
Yes.
Like me and Tuesdays with Maury.
And me and Wayward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Till next time.
Bye, Booze.